put me on airplane mode. You can put me on.
Ladies, gentlemen, people of the world, baby. Oh, welcome to what we do when we do what we do. But we ain't trying to break nobody's heart. And even though I love the girl so, I just want to let you know that this is the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. It is the Tuesday Night Light, where we take you around the sports world. And this sports world got a whole lot of things going on. We got a little USA soccer. We got Olivia Miles, Minnie Miles. We got, of course, the NBA Finals. We might have to talk about that a little bit. We got the NHL, as you can see, celebrating our guy Matty Ice and his Carolina Hurricanes as the Stanley Cup champions of the world, Craig. What else we got? We got some other things in store for you. We got a little MLB report. We're going to drop some jewels on you about the Nationals, stuff that I've been hearing all day. So I'm not the author of these facts. These are facts that I've heard throughout the course of the day, mostly brought to you by one Grant Paulson and Danny Rouillet. With that being said, I'm the Midnight Rider. He's the big guy, KG. This is the Tuesday Night Flight. And what we always do is we set out to entertain you the only way we can and the only way we do. With that being said, I'm turning the show over to him, the big guy, KG.
Welcome. Thank you, Midnight Rider, for that rousing introduction. I don't want to bore you with my troubles, but there's something about this show that'll make you weak and knock you right off your feet.
I know that's right.
Now, here's the question. Stevie Wonder version or Donnell Jones? Or Luther Vandross?
This is not a conversation we're having right now, are we? Actually, I mean, I love me some Donnell Jones. I will listen to Donnell. I'm not even listening to Luther, but it's Stevie all the way.
Okay.
Stevie's like there's only one. The only one battle that Stevie doesn't win is when Stevie goes up against Donny Hathaway.
Okay. All right.
Hey. Well, see, you busy Thursday, but Friday, if we want to go in the crates, we can do something on Friday.
We might have to look at something. I'm
just saying.
But I got to give it to you.
It's just like there's one song. I don't know if you've heard it. It's on his live edition. He does the Beatles Yesterday. And just like, even though Adele sung Hello, the go-go version is really the version that everybody acknowledged. Even though the Beatles sung Yesterday, the only one I acknowledge, put the ones in the air, is Donny Hathaway's. But we going off court. Let's get us back on track, baby.
All right, welcome everybody to the Tuesday Night Flight. We give you a little dose of music there. It's gonna be sprinkled throughout the show. It's like seasoning, so don't worry about it. We'll catch up with something else.
Even better, it's like E40. Sprinkle me, baby. Sprinkle me.
Hey, don't get me started on that. That was my shit. Motherfucker, you couldn't tell me Sugar T wasn't the greatest female rapper. Let me stop. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Flight. The celebration continues. So in my Rick James voice, it's a celebration. We gotta celebrate because our resident Knicks fan got a championship. Our residents, Caniacs, Showtime, Matty Ice, Nubian Sumo got a Stanley Cup championship. We're gonna start right there. As you can see, we replayed the Drive Time Championship celebration at 5 p.m. today. If you did not catch that, it is available on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Make sure you check that out. As for the Carolina Hurricanes, they win. And I said it. They got to punch the gorilla in the mouth. They punched the gorilla in the mouth and kept punching. So they win in 6 games.
They let it be known that they were punching the gorilla in the mouth. It's the only game that the early 2-0 lead did not get walked down and cause the game to go into either overtime or continue to get played on. So this is going to be amazing celebration. I can't wait. What was it? I think they won it in 2006, and I think the way the connections of the show is that Showtime was like maybe 1. I think his other daughter maybe a 3 or something like that. I forgot the lineage of the Catlins, the Catlin Caniacs, but they all Canes. I hope if there's a way, and I'm not technically savvy enough to understand if this is possible, but if they were able to save that FaceTime conversation, that should live forever in the hall of memories for them, because for them 3, Maddie, Sarah, and his daughter to experience the championship being won in the moment, that's got to be something you want to hold on to. It's something that you got. It's like the water in the Fertile Crescent. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hold that, swaddle that. It's like Jesus, with Joseph. You gotta swaddle that baby. If you ever seen what is that movie? With you've seen the movie with never mind. We're not gonna go into that. I'm gonna keep it straight. I know my niece will, if she's in here or Tim's in here and she's listening, she'll tell me what it is. It's the Christmas, 4 Christmases. That's what it's called. With Vince Vaughn, where they go to all the different houses of the family. You're doing something. So never mind. You're not.
I'm listening to you.
You don't know the part where they go to her mom's house and they're in the Christmas play, and like they end up having to play Mary and Joseph in the play, and he's got to swaddle she's trying to swaddle the baby, Jesus, and she doesn't know how to swaddle it, so he steps in. It's hilarious. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to make sure my computer don't die here, because somebody unplugged my computer.
I think Lee Ice is going to jump in with us. I'm going to try to send him the link. As we do many things at the same time.
This is what we do. Jordan Stahl won your Conn Smythe Award.
Now, Jordan Stahl had 5 goals in 4 games. The only other 2 people to do that was Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. I think I got that right.
Wow.
So then he's also, when I remember Matty Ice's comment, he's also the oldest person to win. And I don't know what the Stanley Cup MVP title is. It's a player's name, kind of like the Bill Russell is for the NBA. But whatever that person's name is, he's the oldest person to win it at 36 years old.
That would be the Conn Smythe Award.
There we go. Thank you, sir. That's why we do this. And look at Sarah. Showtime, you want to jump in? Hey, if you got 5 minutes, Showtime, you want to jump in? I'll send you the link.
And the boss jumped in and said, not to burst the bubble, but are these the first real championships we have as junkies? No, they're not. Because Midnight Rider has the NBA championship in 2020.
I don't think I was on the network in 2020. I think I was at the end. I was after COVID.
Okay.
I think I was post-COVID.
Well, we do have the Washington Valor AFL championship. We do have the Mystics championship. We have the Nats championship. No, I mean, we pretty good. We pretty good over here because you guys are Mystics, Nats fans. I was a Valor fan, so we got championships. We got banners on the wall.
Hey Sarah, I put it in the Sideline Junkies chat on Messenger. I sent it for you and Lee Ice.
He been funny 2020. That's why I said not to burst the bubble. Y'all lacking.
I don't pay anybody that says the bubble ain't a real championship any mind. That's just people being
Yep.
just not trying to recognize the truth. That's what it is. I'm gonna say it that way.
DC Defenders was the other one.
Okay.
Like I said, we're the only city. DC's the only city with an NFL championship, a Super Bowl, an NBA championship, a World Series, a WNBA championship, a UFL championship, an AFL championship. You know, we got like 11 titles. You know,
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I did a whole show on this.
I know you did. I was probably there.
Yeah, because you was like, "Young, you're dreaming. Stop it."
Here we go. We got because we opened with this. Let's get it from the person themselves. There we go. Now we know it's a cat. No, you good. We know it's a cat because there's a cat in the screen. Trying to steal the stage. Showtime, Sarah. What's going on? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I feel like it still hasn't fully set in. One.
It's not.
It's not set in yet.
It's not going to sit into. What day is your parade?
Saturday at 11. I will be there. So it'll be very exciting. Obviously, Matty Ice and Jared, my brother, want me to send as much videos and FaceTime as possible. So it's going to be really fun. And it's kind of cool because my sister, who's not really into sports, because obviously you barely see her on here, she actually is the one that texted me asking me if I want to go. And I'm like, you're not into this. So I guess the Canes win is bringing people that aren't really into hockey, all together.
I mean, that's the beauty of sports, is because some people they're not into it at first, but then they get caught up in the wave. And she probably got caught in the wave, and now, she might actually go to games with her.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, gosh, she was the one that FaceTime me and Maddie before the game one, and he was saying on the show he didn't want to pick up the phone until after the empty net because anything happens in that game. But she was the one that was kind of pulling the strings on that.
So I mean, raw emotion. I know I heard you kind of on Monday, like the raw emotion feeling when you saw the clock hit the zeros. What's the first thing you did? Were you prepared to celebrate?
So it was funny because again, my dad said on the show. So I was working that night, and we were only open until 9. So I was like, okay, I'll definitely be able to get home and watch some of it. But it was also my coworker's birthday, and they wanted to go out to IHOP, which everybody knows IHOP, and I love IHOP, so I didn't want to decline this. But they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll go home," and then once I got home, I realized it was still 2-0. The second period had just ended. I was like, there is possibly 20 minutes until we win the cup. And if I'm going to be at IHOP, I'm not going to be able to see it. So I had to cancel on my coworkers' plans to go to IHOP with them. I was like, guys, I can't do it. I gotta see this because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Kind of disappointed I didn't get IHOP, but hey, I'm sure there'll be another day for it. But the thing is, since I knew that I was working and that I was going to go out, I was saying in the drive time chat that we have, I wouldn't be opposed to a game 7. And my dad immediately shut me down. He's like, you take that back right now because the hockey gods, they're gonna curse it at all. I'm like, I wasn't saying that I wanted a game 7. I was just saying that if Vegas won, I would not be complaining, but it's also going to hurt more if game 7 we lose it, So, but I had to cancel on IHOP and then watch the game. I was already feeling nerves. I only had one drink and it didn't really help me at all. And I probably could have drank more, but it was just truly I was gosh, it was all over. Then of course, 5 minutes left. I'm like, oh, it's still 2-0. Vegas, they looked tired out the entire that period. I was like, they just weren't putting in any effort. It was so I knew theoretically it was it doesn't look like anything is going to happen, but I just you can't think that because something's always going to happen. It's a game. It can go from we've given up leads before, so but and then of course the empty netter, and I don't even think I think it was maybe down to the last minute, and I showed you guys the picture. I'm sure I can find a way to post it in Sideline Junkies later, but I was crying. I started crying, guys. I was and of course my sister and my dad were both on the FaceTime. My sister and my mom, who was in the room too, was saying how I need meds because I was crying. I was like, I can't explain why I'm crying. I don't I kind of knew that I was probably going to cry, but I didn't think it was just going to be full on breakdown like I had. But they were happy tears, and that's all that matters. They were not, I probably would have cried very sad tears if it was the other way around. So, I think I was going to cry regardless. But again, it was just a full breakdown moment. It was kind of funny because I was ahead of my dad's show, so I was basically kind of seeing everything, especially when they were passing around the cup to everybody. So I was kind of a little ahead of him in that sense. He actually had to make me pause to see if we could see who was winning the Conn Smythe at the same time, which I was still a little ahead of him in that sense. But it was still a nice moment. Of course, my dad's birthday is coming up on the 19th, which 20 years ago, that's when they won the cup. It kind of just made me feel a little sad because I wasn't there with him to personally see this moment happen. I'm seeing him in 2 weeks. I'm sure we'll have our celebratory moments then. But I was it made me really miss my dad. I was like, dang it, I'm not there, because he's the one that got me into the sport in the first place. He's gotten me obviously into hockey. I mostly kind of keep it with baseball. Obviously I support the Guards. You'll see me get my comments in on football sometimes, although it's mostly just the scores and Fernando Mendoza because have you seen that man? Just
Hey, all right.
So
Fernando Mendoza Aaron Judge. Hate.
I don't know if y'all saw. I got in my hates. Because I've been slacking the last couple of weeks because I've either been busy or had to work. I got in my hates that yesterday. Don't you worry. I think it got up to 9. Of course, Scooter was telling me to stop because I had already won at that point. But
you went 9 and then tried to repeat, and you can't.
Yeah, and then Scooter canceled me. He said nope, no more. It's I think it would have still counted. I'm just reiterating.
You can't double stamp a hate.
But that's how much I hate them. I got a double hate. I got a triple hate. Quadruple hate. I don't know. My dad. I can't remember my dad saying anything, but their coach Tortorella, he's out. They're not.
Right.
They let him go. So hated that guy too.
But, why? I gotta see some of this one. Why?
Why I hate Tortorella?
Yeah.
Have you seen the controversy around that man? I'll be honest, he is very blatant and straight, which I mean is not necessarily a bad thing in a coach, but he doesn't really have a great timing aspect of it. I don't know if you saw one of the post games. He literally just straight up told a reporter that it was I think the reporter asked about a goaltending change, which isn't necessarily a bad question because Carter Hart, he didn't really have a great final. Sorry. So it was it wasn't a bad question being are you going to change your goalies? And he was like, that's the dumbest question I've ever heard. He's just straight up, and he got fined earlier this season for just, I think, walking out, or he didn't even have a post game. So
he's not been post game. The series before, I think it was game 4, game 5. Mm-hmm. They didn't have media access, and so they lost they got fined $100,000 and lost the second round pick.
Exactly. Like, why would you want that guy in your league? I mean, like, it makes sense because obviously that team doesn't really have some great people on it. So like, I was like, if the shoe fits, but I do hope they can find a better coach and obviously make the changes that they need to. More so just getting rid of the bad players. But I don't think it's really going to happen because that also just seems like something Vegas would do. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it. I mean, obviously we've already been saying stuff, but like there's already moves in the off season where people making trades and everything. So it's going to be a very exciting off season.
Okay. So, all right, give me one thing before you go. Let everybody know first the next episode, and then what you guys are doing for the free agency.
So I believe next week we got obviously we got a draft review because we got that coming up June 22nd. So that's going to be our draft review, kind of like see who's going to be going where. And then the week after,
I think it's
Wednesday,
July
July 1st will be our free agency tracker show. It'll be a 2-hour special or something like that where we will have live updates of who goes where at noon. That starts at noon, I believe. And then just obviously weeks after that is just going to be trying to break down the NHL season ahead. I mean, we only get like a 4-month break. My mom was like asking, she's like, what are we going to do now? I was like, we still got the World Cup. We got baseball. Like, there's still stuff to watch, I've been trying to I've never watched soccer before or football, whatever you want to call it, in my life. And watching the World Cup, I'm like, this actually ain't so bad. It was actually somewhat entertaining, although I still don't understand the aspect of a tie game. How can a game just stay tied?
So think about it like this. You're having a tournament for a month. So the first 3 games are just games to kind of get the seating in place. So instead of running the legs out of people early on with overtimes and they just let it in the 90 minutes. Because they know when we get to the later stages, and in this tournament, they definitely need it because they expanded the field to 48. So you got more first round games than you ever had. You got a round of 32 now that you never had. And then you get to the round of 16, the knockout round.
Right.
So it's one of those things where because these games don't determine who advances, that's why you have the ties. That's why the ties are allowed.
Makes sense, I guess. I don't know. I always feel like a game can't truly be tied. I know in football sometimes they do have it be tied too, but I don't know.
And then also it's early in this tournament. I think a lot of these teams are just getting their legs ready because this is their first time in this kind of heat in the U.S. and this kind of humidity or whatever they're dealing with. So, I mean, this is why we get the orange slices break in midway in the quarters, man, because it's crazy. But anything else you want to promote before we let you go? Because I know you about to go party or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend the night with my siblings. So we're gonna have fun there. But no, I don't think it's anything. I mean, you know where to find Sideline Junkies at. So and drive time Monday, 5 p.m.
There we go.
Yeah, I gotta plug it. I can't be like Maddie where he plugs everybody. Usually I can only do that whenever I'm hosting by myself, and it's so hard remembering everything because we got everything here. So
say that one more time.
We got everything here at Sideline Junkies.
All right, Sarah. Yeah. Thank you for jumping in with us.
Of course.
There's some parenting being involved in the comments. You want to go ahead and hit the parenting part of the comments?
Wait, I don't know. Can I hit? Yeah, you might have to pull it up. Oh, the Showtime kid is pretty smart.
Hold on, don't get too happy though, because the next one.
Oh yeah. Better spend time with your. Okay, look. I had a test today, so I'm good. I'm good on studying right now.
Well, let me tell you.
Oh, hold on. Anthony got a question for Sarah. Let's get Anthony's question in. Sarah, are the Carolina fans going to do the same destruction that you saw with New York, or they destroyed the city after winning the NBA championship?
I would be more concerned over the players destroying anything. There's already been several video evidence of people singing, the classic "Wagon Wheel" by Darius Rucker at bars. So I mean, gosh, all the players are just enjoying this, which they should. They deserve it. We was watching on the news. There's 6 players that are finally getting it's the first names on the cup. Which was Jalen Chatfield, Keandre Miller, and then also Pyotr Kochetkov, first names. Also, more shocking, it's the first Taylor, the first Sebastian, and then oh my God, there was one more. Oh, Jackson, the first Jackson. So there's not a new names obviously going to be on this cup, which I'm excited for. They all deserve it in their own way. Everybody's been super special. Obviously, we'll talk about it more in upcoming shows of how the offseason will change and how much it might change for the Carolina Hurricanes. But Maddie I said it best yesterday is a lot of these players are locked up until 2032. So if you think this is one and done for Carolina, there's another thing coming. I don't think we're going to be as bad as New York City, but I think we were talking about it again on the show. If this doesn't show you that Raleigh is a good place to have a sports team, then I don't know what will.
That's a great point, because the next thing you know, you want a baseball team in Raleigh, right?
Yes, I want it so bad. And like I said, there's somebody else in on it. So I think we definitely are getting up the financial support for it. And again, championship, I think this really truly shows that Raleigh can be a good place for a baseball team. So I'm excited. We'll see.
And before you go, I got one more before you go. I'm sorry, I thought it was my last one, but I just thought about this.
You're good.
Sebastian Aho declined the trophies so that way Taylor Hall could go around first. What were your thoughts on that?
This team loves each other so much. I mean, just obviously it's a great moment, and just being with your team. Taylor Hall, he's been in it for 16 years. He's been moved around a lot. He's a great player. Like one of my friends was saying, this might be the first Stanley Cup champion who might not even be in the playoff Hall of Fame, or in the Hall of Fame, the NHL Hall of Fame. He's a great player. So I think Aho recognizing his effort and what he puts into this team is just, again, a great moment of just kind of all the teamwork. I mean, they really do make sure to kind of give everybody who hasn't had the cup first. Obviously, Jordan Stahl got it, but he's the captain, but immediately handing it off. I mean, even with, yes, Aho trying to tell Hall to get it first, but you also have Stahl immediately giving it to Freddie Anderson, which, I mean, we talked about it a week or two ago with Claude Lemieux passing away, and that being Freddie's mentor. And obviously Freddie stepping back physically, yes, but I'm sure he was struggling mentally as well. Just Stahl making sure that Freddie gets recognized for his moment, because he's been struggling with the loss of his mentor. They're great teammates. You can't hate a single guy on that team, and I think that's, at least for me, I can't hate a single guy. Yes, I'm slightly biased, but I would tell you if I hate a guy on the team, and I don't. So I think that means a lot.
All right, Showtime. Get out of here. Go party. Have a great night. Thank you for jumping in.
Yep.
Ooh, I think I did that too soon. All right, now all of a sudden, now we got the man with the freezer and the man that's flying high. I don't even know where we're going with this segment, but let's go ahead and just have some fun. Lee Ice, you ended your show tonight with a tribute. And there's a guy in the square above you that does a tribute every year. And when I saw your shirt, that's part of the reason I jumped in with y'all, outside of Josh lying on me about being rude and not talking to him. But you said something poignant today, talking about bias, because you talked about the phone call and how you got to that. Just bring it up because I want KG to hear somebody else's perspective.
Yeah.
Because he does this he's going to do something separate on Friday, and maybe y'all two want to get together on Friday, and record.
I remember when the late great Kobe Bryant says there's times that we were all. I can't quote him word for word. But basically, what he's saying that there were times in sports that we will always remember.
Mm-hmm.
Like people, our parents probably remember when Kennedy got shot, or King got shot. 9/11, and for the DMV, it's going to be Len Bias's death. I went to his high school. I went to school with his younger brother, and I graduated with his sister. And like I said, that day I'm gonna always remember. I can remember from the moment I got up during the day, everybody calling each other. Like I said, they actually picked up a phone and called somebody. You know what I'm saying? And like, damn, man, you see the news? I remember us going down to the basketball court, and it was like, we played every day, but for some reason that day nobody could play. All we could do was talk about Bias. You know what I mean? And it's always going to live in here. You know what I mean? Because, like I say, I went to his high school. He used to come up there all the time to visit. My high school is like 3 lights up away from the University of Maryland. Right. I went to a couple of his games. I think I was there senior night when he played against Oldham Polynese. And Oldham went up for a shot, and Bias told him, get that shit out of here. You can actually hear him say that. You know what I mean? So his death, even though it's 40 years old, about to be 40 years old on June 19th, it still hits hard if you're from this area, especially someone my age, and it's always going to feel like that.
It's funny you even say that because at that time, my dad and there's this spot in Southeast, right off of Chicago Street, and like the old heads would hang out there, and one of the old heads was Len Bias's grandfather. So I never forget, like us going over that area, and like they were talking to him, and like all the old heads. I mean, I'm probably like, what year is that? Is that 84, 85?
With his death?
Yeah.
86. It'd be 40 years on the 19th.
All right, so I'm like 9 or 10 at that time of his death. And I'm just watching the old guys just go through it, just talking and sharing their moments with this. And it was a hard, I didn't understand because I was too young. But yeah, man.
You can imagine going to his high school,
right?
Seeing his brother play, being in classes with his sister. Okay, the guy everybody knows he's about to get drafted, going to be a number 1 pick. Pride and joy at Northwestern High School. He comes up there all the time, and then this happened. You know what I mean? I mean, it's still sad today when I really think about it, because after his death, poor Jay Bias, his brother, what he went through that year. I went to a lot of games, Northwestern games, the year 86 to 87. Northwestern won the championship in 87, but what Jay had to endure that year, I mean, you'd be surprised. Well, maybe not. You would know, how fans are,
right,
yelling shit and saying shit. And but the icing on the cake was they won the championship at Coldfield House where his brother played.
That's amazing, man.
Hey, real quick. What's up? Real quick. So my dad graduated from Northwestern, and all of his brothers. My one, yeah.
Harry went to Northwestern?
Yeah, he graduated.
I never knew that.
78, 79.
I never knew
Well,
Harry went to. He never. I don't think we ever talked about
yeah,
this.
who I talked to him after the show, and he was like, "I didn't know Leroy went to Northwestern," and he was like, "Why didn't you talk?" I was like, "I didn't get a chance to." Len Bias was the last bit of our show. I didn't get a chance to bring in. So yeah, my uncle who comments a lot, Tim, he was the same year as Len Bias, and
Oh wow.
he's got some kind of story about. I don't want to speak out of it. I think Len Bias threatened to beat him up. I think, but I have to get the whole story. I'll have to get the whole story and tell it one day, but. Yeah, so it's a small world, isn't it?
Small. All the years I've known Harry for 30 years. Never know we went to the same high school. That's
Yeah, and he
crazy.
didn't know it either. He said, "I didn't know they all went to Northwest." Everybody, yeah, because my dad would graduate in '78, and all of his brothers are within like 4 or 5 years of him. So my mom graduated in '83. She went to Bladensburg High, I think, and then yeah.
It's not real high school. Don't. Go ahead, KG. Where you go to high school, KG? You gotta unmute yourself.
I had the pleasure of going to Eleanor Roosevelt Summer Center.
Huh?
I don't even know what does that even mean.
What the hell?
I went to summer school at Eleanor Roosevelt.
Okay.
That's where I graduated from. I actually put in a request to have my diploma say Eleanor Roosevelt Summer Center, but it was denied.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about this. Yeah. You got beef with Bladensburg.
Yes. Big beef.
That's where I took my SATs, Bladensburg.
Long-lasting beef that probably won't ever be resolved.
But yeah, man. That day will always live, man. It's crazy.
All right,
40 years. Huh?
You talk about Jay, and I gotta pull it up. But if I pull it up, I'll put it in the chat. I actually did a show. I did a what if show because he went to Allegheny Community and averaged like 24 and 7, and I was like, he had a chance to go to he didn't want to go to Maryland, but he had a chance to go to Georgetown and a couple of other schools before he was untimely killed up at PG Plaza. And I was like, what if he would actually took it and went out of state, and as good as he was, he could have did some big things.
The thing about Jay was Bias was great. I'm not saying Jay would have been as good as Lenny, but he can handle the ball better than Lenny. Jay was like he was kind of like Walt Williams. He was tall and lanky, he could move. He was kind of silky smooth. So I mean, another tragedy, man. I remember that day too. So it's crazy.
All right, guys, if you don't mind, I want to change something up because I hear things and people say they have the best segment in podcast land. And it's a good segment. I like it. You know what I'm saying? But tell the world, about the best segment, as you guys said, in your own words, in podcast land. Like, why do you think is the best segment?
It's funny because it was something that we came up with before we even started the show. We were trying to come up with an idea. It was all centered around football because when we first came on the network, our show is, and we'll go back to that, and when football season starts, was pretty much all football. And it was just, we were kind of like, who's did really well for the week and then who's not so well. And then based on our nicknames, we came up with Flying High. I think he came up with both. Flying High and Lee Ice's Deep Freezer. And then once I learned how to create graphics and all this stuff that I do, we've just taken it to another. I don't know how great it is, but it was after the first week or two, he was saying that people were talking to him about who's going to be in the freezer. You're going to put this guy in the freezer? And I was getting texts and comments from people of other teams. My dad, to this day, when I got off the phone, I got on the phone with him when I got off the show today. He said, "You said you were going to talk about the Nationals on Flying High. You promised me you were going to mention them again." I said, "What are you talking about? We had a packed show. I told you we had 3 guests at an hour show." And I had to talk about the UFC fight. I forgot about the Nationals are 3 above 500. I forgot to mention it on Flying High.
Yeah, and
all right, let me ask you a question. No. So do you want us to bump back to 8 to give you a little bit more extra room when you know it's packed? Like if you know your show is packed, just give us a heads up and we'll
Sure.
bump
I
back.
mean, I was going to talk to the boss and see if we could go in at 6, but it was at first we didn't think Josh was coming on, so I didn't worry about it. And then when found out Josh was coming on, it was kind of like trying to get everything squared away. I was just going to try to squeeze it all in 1 hour. But yeah, if you guys can do that, great. But
I
I
mean,
think we're good.
next week, I think, because we're gonna have the GOAT point
Well,
guard.
next
So,
week you can't.
and,
Next week we
and
start.
KG, you definitely got to come on that because you got to represent your boy from Utah. So,
John Houston Stockton. You're damn right I will.
Yeah, so
You gotta
I got the
represent-
picture. Yeah. So we did it
Next
last
week.
week.
Easy for us to go to 8 because we got the draft show.
That's fine. We won't
yeah.
need it next week though, because we're good. We don't have any. We will have to. I got to talk to the stuff on the.
you gonna come on next week too? You and Josh to talk about the draft, right? Well, we want you to. So,
Okay. All right. Yeah.
y'all do the top 10 picks. So,
Yeah, so we'll talk about the draft next week. We'll do the point guard thing, and then we'll do a 10-minute for the soccer. But we don't have a huge show next week, and then it's just with the Stanley Cup, the NBA Finals all ending at the same time, the soccer thing going on, and then the UFC fight. We had to get it all in.
No, it was a great show, man. I love what y'all do, man.
Thank
like
you. Appreciate
that's
it.
how I spend my literally. I sit back and I normally get in about 6:15. So there's 15 minutes where I don't do any sports. I'll watch like a random show, whatever, and then at 6:30 I try to sit in and watch you guys. Sometimes I miss you in the beginning and get in like at 6:45 like I did today, and then I just watch, man, because the boss man said it, man. I love this network, man. I love the way we do this. And Lee Ice, we started this. I got a memory from like 6 years ago with the logo from All In Sports, man. And we had a journey, bruh. And for us to still be here, but the two of us being together, bro,
I always, you know what I said in Tim's living room when I do it, you are the guy. So, but I think Brian could agree with we being where we came from. We absolutely love what we do here. We love the freedom that the boss man gives us. We love y'all coming in, helping us out. We love y'all asking us to help y'all, come on y'all show. Whatever
it
we
feels
can
like
do.
family. It really feels like family.
That's what I feel.
I know people say that, but like I said, where we came from, and I'll try to be cool about it.
No, you're good. You're good. I understand it, dog. Trust me.
We were. I know a lot of you. I know a lot of people on this network also started there or whatever, came from there, or whatever too. But like we would do conference calls and stuff, but there was one guy in charge, and none of us really had voices, and I didn't know anybody else. I went to trips with some of those guys and some of the people, but I feel like if I saw you guys, like we would like hang out and we would go eat dinner. Like we feel like there's a friendship, a family. I didn't necessarily get that vibe over there. Not that, I mean, maybe some other people did. I don't know. And I know Leroy was with them a lot longer, but we didn't have any freedom. We didn't, and with the live element with this network and this, it just adds a whole nother element to it. And we got good stuff here.
Yeah, it's definitely a family atmosphere, man.
Yeah.
Y'all are definitely brothers. So, like
the group chat that we have on Facebook, and like we had a group chat with them, but it wasn't fun. It's not fun like we have with this one. I mean, I watch sports and talk about it while we're watching it, send you guys clips, do joke. It's great. It's like we have 15, 20 friends.
Nah, like I told my sister, always used to ask me, when'd you meet KG? When'd you meet Brian? And I was like, well, I didn't meet them to the day we signed on to Clear Productions. She was like, so you've been doing the show for 3 years with people you never met? How y'all got that, Kim? I was like, yo, it just works.
We have got to get together. Cookout, something.
Yeah, you know what?
The Sideline Junkies cookout. We got to get together.
Yep.
Somebody make it happen. I'll make the burgers.
So we're all very. I mean, we're not going to give our addresses on here, obviously, but we're all in the same area, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm DC. I know trust me, I've gone to KG's house for what did I go to your house for? Christmas?
Christmas and Thanksgiving for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Where you live at, KG?
Right
I
in
mean,
District
what?
Heights.
Hey, Lee Ice, you know where Mike lives?
Yeah. Okay.
He right over there by Mike.
Wow.
And I'm in Elk Ridge, Columbia area, so I'm not that far.
And then what's crazy is that everywhere that y'all live, I'm 9 times out of 10, at least once or twice a week, I'm probably in there that y'all live in, working. I'm probably around there working. Man, the last 2 weeks I've been in Salisbury, Chrisfield. I was in Parsonsburg. Man, I've been all over the place. I was in Bel Air earlier today.
Parsonsburg. I ain't never heard that.
That's over there right before you get to Salisbury.
Okay.
Go over there and get you some seafood, man.
All right, guys, we want to get y'all out of here real quick. I gotta ask a question differently. I'm trying to think of how I want to ask this. So this year of sports and reporting on sports, what's the story that has stuck out to you? Like it's been like it's like it's not the best story of the year, but it's the one that stuck out to you and made a big impact on you. If that makes sense.
That's a good question. It's just going to sound weird, only because personally for me and the where I got it and the way I reacted and how it changed our show is the Myles Garrett trade. I know that doesn't not like a major story. I mean, it is, but it isn't. But I people know my history a little bit. I was very sick for years. I'm retired from my job, but me and my wife, we own a salon together, and I just started going there and doing stuff behind the scenes there in the office and stuff, trying to help it run better. And this was one of my first times in the office. And then like I'm doing paperwork and stuff, and I get like the alert. I think it was from our group chat is when I first got it. And I saw it, and I'm reacting out loud, and my wife's like, "What's wrong? Is there something wrong with the books? Like we don't pay that bill?" I was like, No. Myles Garrett was just traded to the Rams, and she doesn't know what that means when I say that. she watches football with us, but she's Latino, so she doesn't quite get it. But she knows the Rams, obviously, because of my son. And she's like, "Oh, that's a big deal." And I say, "Yeah." And I called him immediately, and he didn't know, which he usually has the scoops on me because he's got like Schefter and like on his phone and gets alerts and tweets. And he happened to not know. And then we got in contact with you guys. We immediately extended our show. We had like a 2-hour show because of that. So for me personally, that news dropping like was such a big deal because of what we do now. Yeah. So Myles Garrett trade.
Man, that's a hell of a question.
Yeah, it's just on top of my head, like recently. I mean, if we really thought about it, yeah.
I mean, news, I'll say what impacted me more, of course, being a Skins fan, was JD5 not having the season that I think we all anticipated, or the Skins having the season that we all anticipated. We thought they were going to take the next step. You know what I mean? And for it all to just like, damn, just to fall apart, all just like that. And I said it today, and I said it last week. It made me look back on the 2024 season, like, damn, I didn't really appreciate that season. First of all, it came out of nowhere. Next thing you know, we're one game away from the Super Bowl. You know, we got this phenom, number 5. Oh, next year it's going to be our year. And then second game of the year, Thursday night in Green Bay, he's down. And it messed up the whole season. So if you're a diehard Skins fan like I am, I mean, you don't live and die on Sunday, but you live and die. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, bro.
It's like your Sundays Sundays were just messed up. And I couldn't find, I was trying to look at a brighter side. I was like, maybe I look at the young players, but it just never materialized. So I think his injury just messed up the whole football season.
Nah, I totally get it, bro. All right, guys, we gotta let y'all go because
all right.
I know we're gonna do some overtime because we're already at overtime time. So,
All right. So next week, the point guard, GOAT. I need you there, KG.
Point guard go. Oh God.
Yeah. So the last week we so
I
Leroy
wonder
sent
what
me.
I'll be wearing next week.
So Leroy sent me like 3 different pictures. One was a small forward ranking. It was 10 and then 3, and then he also sent me the point guard one. And we had teased it, but we didn't get to it today, so we're gonna do it next week. But obviously, point guard for him is a big deal. And then KG's got a guy he's gonna represent. And then
And I'll probably get Terry to come on too. So
I thought number 1 wasn't really undisputed as far with spoiler alert, it's Magic, but maybe it is. So that's why we're going to talk about it.
Undisputed. Don't worry about that.
All right, fellas.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy. Thank you, fellas. For
Tuesdays at 6:30 on Unapologetic Sports.
There you go. Shameless plug, baby. I love it. All right, KG, let's reset and find where we are. We at 51 minutes, and I don't think we've touched anything outside of the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't think we talked Spurs. I don't think we talked anything else. So let's take a break and then come back. And I don't think we had that. Go ahead. Let's just do what we got to do, man.
Okie dokie. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. It's the Tuesday Night Flight. As you can see, we are 52 minutes into the show, and we got some things to cover to get you up to speed before we got to get out of here. So, I think I got to call Omaha on this, and we got to get to go on and make things happen. So, let's just go down the list. Let's go Omaha style. And let me see if I can change the background with the pants. But go ahead and do what you do. And I'm going to do what I do. And then we do what we do because this is what we do.
Great. Y'all heard the OC, the former OC of the Indianapolis Colts called Omaha. So that means we going no huddle and we just going to roll with it. All right. That's first up, Tiago Splitter is the new head coach at Davos. I was on the fence about it and I had to think about it. Tiago Splitter, and this is crazy. The cat's 4 years younger than me. So he's 41. Of course, he was a San Antonio Spur from when he came over to the Spurs in 2010. But he started playing ball professionally in 99. Been assistant with the Nets, the Rockets, head coach of Paris basketball, was an assistant with the Trailblazers before he took over as interim. As a player, has a NBA championship in 2014, all EuroLeague first team. He got a great resume. Championship in France. I was on the fence about it because I was like, I wanted somebody more experienced. But I started looking at what players said about him. Mm-hmm. And how he's a player's coach. He's a player's coach. So he's a player's dream. And I think if we build, you got to give him 5 years to put something together. If you don't, it's going to fall apart. And we're going to be in the same situation all over again. So I'll see where this goes. But anything had to be better than Billy Donovan, Tim Floyd. I've seen some bad coaches since Phil Jackson left. So I miss Vinny Del Negro, I miss Scott Skiles, and I miss Tom Thibodeau. So, and that's saying a lot. So
that means you missed the desert.
I missed the what?
You missed the desert. No, Tiago Splitter should have been kept as the Blazers head coach. There's no way this team should have ever let this guy out the building. I don't know what they were thinking, but they actually gave away the better coach. I don't know what they're going to decide on, but whatever they decide on is not going to be what they should have had and what they should have kept. You got a guy that came in as an interim coach. And yes, he's in the building, but when you're an interim or you take over for somebody else, you got to try to find a happy median in between what they ran and what you like to run. And that's the hard part, because you don't want to start from scratch. So you got to kind of like live with what we done, but also kind of sprinkle in E40. Sprinkle me, baby. Sprinkle in what you do best. And that's the hard part. And so that's why I think whenever interim coaches, especially in this situation, I think it makes a difference. So I'm gonna go with that. Omaha.
All right. Next up, little MLB talk with the Midnight Rider. Brian, I'm sorry, touched on this. The Nats are 3 games above 500. So, he put them in the flying high category. Your thoughts, Midnight Rider?
I mean, it's silly of me to think that I would ever see this team over 500 at this point in time in the season. How I love you. Oh, it's just a lovely dream. This team is playing baseball at a level that I wasn't expecting, at a place where I wasn't expecting them to be. But there's a couple nuggets. Dang, I forgot my nuggets over in my pocket, but it's all good. I think the most important nugget is, in terms of run differential, this team is 4th in their division, or not in their division, in their conference, in terms of, so it's all the teams that are in first place, and then it's the Nats next with 17 run differential. So they're 4th in that area. But like, they give up 5.2 runs, they score like 5.47 runs. This team is like, they're living life on the edge. And so we keep saying like, oh, we expect them to fall off, but the problem is they haven't fallen off because they do just enough. Even though they're living in fantasy, they're just falling in place in reality. Like, they're just doing enough to make it work. They may not be a team of destiny, but they can stay around and be relevant long enough and hopefully make something happen in this fix. Omaha.
Well, I'm gonna ask a quick question.
Go ahead. We're going speed round, so ask questions. Don't worry about the Omaha.
Do you think that they're what's the term that you like to use? That they're flying over their skis. I believe that's the way that I use that.
Yeah, that's the way you use it. They're living over their skis. I think they are still, but unfortunately, it's not even unfortunately. I think what's really happening is now we're getting so far into the season that maybe they're not living over their skis. Maybe their skis are in place, and now we're just living in the reality. Sometimes it could be just a fantasy, but now I think this is more of a reality of how close they can be. I'm not saying they're going to be in the space 3 months from now, but what I'm saying is they're giving themselves a chance. And of course, as we always believe in this network, you're saying there's a chance.
All right. Next up.
I thought you had one more MLB thing.
I think, did I? Wait, hold on. Make sure I can't think. Damn it, I lost it. I can't think of the cat's name. That you like so much. You talked about him for the longest. Has he surprised you? I can't think. Is it James Wood?
Yeah. Oh, Wood is playing baseball at a supreme level. Unfortunately, the problem is he's 7th right now in outfielders um voting for the All-Star game, but he's on pace to put up a great season. Then they also got CJ Abrams who's playing baseball. The thing about this team right now is they're doing things that they didn't do last year, but how do I say this the right way? But because of the advances in the way they're being coached, they're getting better access to their numbers and better access to where they're succeeding and failing. And now you can't, I totally agree with Grant and Danny where they say you can't do this with a veteran team. So what the Nats do, and I've said this before, where every couple months they have these conversations with the kids and talk about, what they're hitting well, what they're doing well, what they're doing wrong. You can't do this with a team, the 2019 team. And that's what there you go. See, you always bring it back. So 2019 is the last time that this team was 3 games over 500 at any point in time in the season. And right now they're sitting at 3 games over 500. And so everybody's trying to figure out, what do you do with this team? Do we make a move? Do we do this? What you do is sit back and you just let it play out. Because this could be it could be anything. So just let it play out, see how we react, see what we do. Because the one thing this team has done is they haven't really swept anybody, but they've won 2 out of 3 of their last 3 series since they got swept by Florida. Every time we think this team is going to fail, what happens is we end up succeeding because we win 2 out of 3 from this team. We won 2 out of 3 from that team. I think we got the Royals for 4. So I think today is game 3. I haven't seen the numbers on today's game. And then they got an early game tomorrow where the Royals get out of town. So we've got that going on. I like my red tie, just so you know. Goes in my hat.
It goes with the hat. That's what I was going to say. And as we roll along, we got the Miles report. I told you that I had something for you pre-show. So it's to go with the Miles report.
I saw this.
So I did a little something to put a little razzle dazzle on the Miles report there.
There we go, baby. Now, last night, my girl didn't get a chance to shine because they were out so far ahead in this ball game early that it didn't even. I think she ended up with 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. So she didn't really get to get in her bag because they were up early and often. I think they won like 104-74 or something like that. Crazy. So the opponents had no chance last night. I'm trying to get back to that. Yeah, it was 107-74. Lynx over the Fire. So like the Lynx just was on cruise control. The whole starting 5 was in double digits. Portland didn't. I don't think Portland only had 2 people in double digits. So it was a balanced attack. The Lynx, I think, she had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Livy's just been doing it up. Over the weekend, she gave the who was it? The Aces the Blues. But we talked about that on Sunday. Also, let's go ahead and finish out. Let's do the Sunday Monday slate and give them some love. The Liberty 86, the Mystics 64. That's a terrible night for the Mystics. The Dream 102, Tempo 77. Let me see what KG's girl did. Reese went 15-17 in that ball game. Monday, the Wings beat the Aces 96-66. That's tough. But the Wings are playing good ball because the Wings got a bunch of shooters. The Wings got Buckers, Fudd, Agunbawali. So they can score the ball. And I think they're going to be dangerous when we get towards the end of the season because of the 3 layers of scoring that they have and the 3 different ways they can score. They're going to make it tough for a team to get them out of the playoffs. We talked about the Lynx 107, the 74, the Fire. The Valkyrie beat the Sparks 78-58. Again, the Sparks only had 2 people in double digits. That's Brink and Burrell, and they came off the bench. The Valkyrie didn't need anybody to do anything special because they got points from everybody, and because they were up so big, it really didn't matter in this ball game. And tonight so far we got the Fever up on the tempo 91-74. Box score on that real quick. Marina Mabry, she has 18 points, 1 rebound, 7 assists, and that's for the tempo. On the Indiana side, Kelsey Mitchell giving them 25, but she's only got 1 rebound and 2 assists. And then Caitlin Clark is giving you 16 points and 13 assists with 4 rebounds. So that's where we are right now in the Olivia Miles report / WNBA report.
Quick question here. I hear a lot of people talking about Olivia Miles' male comp, which is her comparable. Kyrie Irving. Agree or disagree?
Oh, you trying to pigeonhole me. I get it. I don't know if I'm there yet. Because because of you, I thought you would have said his uncle, Rod. Because she gets to the basket and she gives you whatever she wants and you can have it your way like Burger King. But she can also dish the Rod. So I would have thought for you, it would have been Rod over Kyrie. Because I think she's more Rod than Kyrie. Because I don't know. She likes to do the scoop, get into the basket, but I don't think she has the creativity and the scoopage that Kyrie has. I think she has the early version of it, the scoopage with Rod.
I like that. I mean, everybody else been saying Kyrie. I see the Rod Strickland. It's just I would love to see her. In my honest opinion, outside of Magic Johnson,
you know the other person I see, and this is no disrespect to her. I see Mark Jackson.
Ooh,
fresh out of St. John's, Mark Jackson, where you could put that pill anywhere you wanted to put the pills. He doesn't have the scoring, but the passing version of Mark Jackson, the passing package. Because I've seen her go on some screens and then she dropped one around somebody, and it's just like boom, it's right there. And like the person that she's passing to doesn't even know until the ball hits their hands, and they're like, oh, I got to score now. Like, oops, my bad. And they making the layup. So yeah.
When she makes passes like that, she got to start yelling out, "That's a pocket pass! That's a pocket pass!" She got to start doing that.
Or she got to go on some people's podcast and be like, "I hit him with the hee hee."
But if her on the break, it's not too many point guards that you get excited when it's a fast break. Magic Johnson got you up out your seat, guaranteed. John Stockton, for as vanilla as he was, could run the break because of the way Utah ran the break with their bigs going to the outside and then crossing at the paint.
Yep.
Mark Jackson, but Rod Strickland running the break, it was a thing of beauty because you didn't know if he was going to take you all the way to the rack or he was just going to drop it off to somebody or he was just going to wait. You know, Gary Payton was like that. Gary Payton would slow up and he'd throw a oop from 3/4 court to Sean Kemp, you know, but it's certain guys that are just like so exciting. And I think she is going to be that woman that's going to be in that vein, and she's going to be the exciting one that you like, all right, long rebound, let's go. And you just standing up because you know she get ready to do something. Love it. I flipping love it.
Since we in the musical bag, what she does comes off of the Maxwell album, Urban Hangout Suite. She does woman's work. when it comes to this hoops game. You know what I'm saying? She gets you the assists, she gets you the buckets. If you go under the screen, she gonna make you pay. I think she hit 8 threes the other night, a couple nights ago. So yeah, she's doing woman's work, man. She gives you hobby, like she puts the game in a place. This is what I love about it, is she doesn't force her game. It basically, it's like, all right, this is what you're doing, this is what you're gonna get. I hope you're comfortable with what you're about to get right now. You know what I'm saying? So we in Omaha mode, so go ahead.
We're gonna move on to the World Cup. What you got for the World Cup? Because I mean, you was excited Sunday with the USA, and then I think they still hot. But you update me. Tell me what's going on.
Oh, so let's talk about this, because Monday, something happened in the World Cup that hasn't happened in 68 years. We had 4 games played, and we had 4 ties. It has been 68 years since that phenomenon has happened in the World Cup. So, and some of these are surprises. The first one, the biggest surprise of them all, was Spain had a 0-0 tie with Cape Verde. And Cape Verde is the smallest country population-wise, and I even think size-wise, in the tournament. They have like 500,000 people as their populace. Now, that's kind of misleading because depending on where you're born, you can claim certain countries through your ethnicity and your bloodline. Like, it's almost like you can, if you do, what's that joint where you can check your genealogy. Like
23andMe.
23andMe. So if you 23andMe and you got 3 countries, you got option to play in 3 countries. So that's the little bit of a difference with the World Cup. Belgium 1-1 with Egypt. That was crazy. Saudi Arabia and Uruguay 1-1, and then Iran and New Zealand 1-1. And today, France said we ain't having no ties today. So France went out. They were up 2-1. They were up 2-0 late. Senegal scored a goal in extra time, and then France came back, and Kylian Mbappe with his second goal today closed it out, and France won 3-1. I didn't see much of Norway versus Iraq, but Norway dominated, and they won 4-1. And tonight at 9 p.m., coming up in a couple minutes, we got Argentina against Algeria, and I'd be surprised if Argentina just doesn't win this ball game outright, and then continuing on. And just remember, if you're playing in how do I want to say it? If you're playing in the bracket or picks league, don't quit now. This is the early part. This is where you're getting like 1 or 2 points for wins, losses, and ties. So don't worry about this section. What you want to do is just keep making your picks. And even if you're wrong, just be wrong, but just keep making picks because you want the volume. This is a volume play. Because what's going to happen is when we get into the knockouts, so we're going to have a knockout round at 32. And also, don't get frustrated with ties, because the ties are just so we can get the games over with and we don't wear people out. So at the knockout round of 32 is when you guys start worrying about exactly picking who's going to win, who's going to lose, because you get winners and losers at that point. And that goes the 32, 16, 8, and all that. I saw our guy Brian with a Y on Unapologetic Sports, and he said that if the U.S. can get to the quarterfinals, that's going to be a huge for them. And I think, honestly, if they have the right matchups, USA can get there. But their only problem is their defensemen. Their back end of their defense, the defense and the goalies, and maybe I'm calling them wrong because I'm using hockey terms, but the defenders and the goalies are going to be the keys to the USA making it any further in this tournament. If they play solid soccer, we got a chance, because our strikers and our backs can make goals happen. And like I told you before, this is the most creative I've seen American soccer play. This is the most dynamic I've seen USA soccer has played since I've watched soccer. And I know people want to say the 2002 team, but no. 2002 looked like they were just guys that overachieved, but they weren't creative like this. This team makes you think that you're watching a team in La Liga. You're looking at AC Milan. You're looking at teams like that where it's that European influence on the game, and it's not just like we got good Americans, and I'll say it that way.
All right, like you naming teams over across the pond. I'm like, okay, all right, hit his bag today. All right. Well, we Omaha this thing, and we might still make it. It's time to wrap that shit up, B.
We got something interesting. I think the other night I saw Texas have a kid, Rodriguez, with a cycle. That scorekeeper might be on the take, but he had a cycle. So Texas advanced. I think tonight West Virginia and Troy are playing an elimination game in the College World Series for baseball. We're dwindling down and getting to the nuts and bolts of that, and hopefully soon we'll get to the finals. The other thing is we got some kind of clarity in the Brendan Sorsby ordeal. The Big 12 pushed back enough, and I think they flexed enough that the kid decided that he's going to go ahead and go into the supplemental draft for the NFL. And it makes sense because I think the Big 12 put enough in play where their lawyers could make it hard for this kid to play next season. And I don't know, and I think his family also came out today and was just kind of like, yeah, let's be done with this, because they knew if he played at Texas A&M, if he played at Oklahoma, wherever he played in his conference games, and the amount of criticism he would get, and the fact that, you know, in the beginning, when we're watching Herb Street, Desmond, Saban, unfortunately, we don't have a coach anymore, but whoever's in coach's place, and those guys leading into the Saturday morning games, you knew they were going to have to touch on this thing. And I think they decided that I think it was going to be too much for them to deal with. And so they kind of caved in because they weren't sure they would have clarity beyond, because I think June 22nd is the date that you have to declare for the supplemental draft. And I think there's going to be too many clouds before that he wasn't going to be sure if he waited, he wasn't going to be guaranteed that he was going to be able to play. And I think he knew at the end of the day he did deserve to play. And I think that's also the reason why he took a step back. Go ahead.
I got so much that I could say, man. It's just I don't like to reward mediocrity, and I don't like to reward bad behavior.
Okay.
And I think this is a rewarding bad behavior. Whether he played college football or he gets drafted in a supplemental draft and gets to play in the NFL. Either way, he's getting his bad behavior rewarded. And who's to say that's going to stop him from gambling the way that he does? That's just my opinion. I mean, I don't really care for it too much. I mean, it is what it is. I got no control over it. I can not like it all I want, but it's still going to happen. So, and then on top of that, Rashee Rice was released from his 30-day sentence, so he's able to join the team for OTAs pretty soon. If not OTAs, he'll get in there for training camp. Henry Ruggs was denied parole. He thought he was getting out to go back to the NFL. And again, rewarding bad behavior. But that's just my opinion. I guess I'm a little different. So, yeah.
No, I don't think you're rewarding bad behavior. I think what's happening is, like, I think they understood that what he was going to have to deal with was going to be hell. I mean, think about NCAA when you play it and you're at some other team's place, and like, you know, you guys play the game, and like the crowd's going wild and all this other stuff. But think about what the things that they would have said to this kid, um, like take the over or whatever they would have chanted. And I just think that along with the criticism from the conference and the criticism from the television. I mean, like you can't just say, "Oh, he gets to play." Like you got to be like critical of this. This kid was allowed to bet on games and get away with it because he only got like a slap on the wrist with a 2-game suspension. Is that really what we encouraging? Because now what's going to happen is, oh, I can take 2 games. I ain't worried about it. You know, if I'm a kid at Cincinnati, if I'm a kid at Rutgers, I mean, what am I hurting? Let me go ahead and make my bets. You know what I'm saying? Let me get whatever I got. So I just think that this was a point where the NCAA kind of got a chance to, and the conference got a chance to put a flag in the ground and kind of hold a point of view that maybe they wouldn't have gotten before because of the way this law thing, and then this is what we was talking about a couple of weeks ago, where if you're going to allow this, there's going to be just kids that violate rules and just go to their local jurisdiction and get an injunction.
Yep.
But now at least somebody fought back. And this is the one thing that we were asking for, is a league to fight back and make somebody, hold somebody accountable for what their actions are. So I think he'll get a day 3 pick. Somebody will throw out a 5th or 4th that they'll lose in 2027. Bring the kid in. I think Pittsburgh is the best place for him, to be honest. I think Pittsburgh should throw in a 4th or a 5th, lose that pick in 2027, put him behind Aaron Rodgers, let him learn, and hopefully he's as good as they think he is, because he's projected to be a first-round pick in the draft this upcoming season if he had gone and played his college season. So hopefully you can get something out of him. Hopefully he's better than Art Schliessler, the guy that was the originator of this from Ohio State.
Yeah, which I think he will be. And I'm sitting here and I'm racking my brain. I think Pittsburgh will be the best for him. Because his only competition behind Rodgers is Will Howard.
It's Drew Aller too. Okay, I get what you're saying. Never mind. My bad. My bad.
Let me go ahead and do it right.
It's funny you say that because it's funny you say that because I actually give Drew Aller the benefit of the doubt, because I think Aller's another kid that was in an offense where maybe he was a little limited, because you had the 2 backs, Singleton and Fat Man, and I think they were more run oriented than pass oriented, and I don't know if they did enough dynamically on the outside, because I remember Dotson getting drafted, but I don't remember the Penn State wide receivers that got drafted and went on to do anything successful in the league. So I think there may have been some limitations in his passing game options. That's all.
I got you. I think, is that it?
But we always say that, you know, in the league, coaches always believe they can save somebody. You know, I think Cade Klubnik is one of those guys that, you know, coaches think if he gets in my system, I can break him and make him better. I think we got Drew Aller as another one. The kid Taylon Allen, I think that's his name, that's in Cleveland. I think he's 6'6", the kid from Arkansas. I mean, I think he's a kid that could do something. I mean, Cleveland's desperate for quarterbacks. I mean, they were talking about at a certain point, Cleveland was talking about adding Sorensby. And I was like, well, how many quarterbacks do you need? And how can you have 5 quarterbacks in the building and get a good assessment if you can barely get an assessment off of 4? Like, what are we doing here? So, no, because you're at the door, guys. No, we're not doing this now. We'll say that for Thursday.
But I'm also a Deshaun Watson guy too, but you don't know how he's going to respond to rehab. if he's gonna be the same quarterback after an Achilles tear.
So he's 2 years out of his Achilles. So that's even better for him.
Yeah, but didn't he have a setback? He had a setback last year.
Right. Anything is possible.
All right, KG.
No, you're KG. I'm Midnight Rider.
I don't understand what they're doing in Cleveland, and I couldn't be the GM in Cleveland because I'm trimming the fat. I mean, you basically you can't get from underneath of Watson's contract. So Dylan Gabriel is refried shit at best. Shador is the best one you can try to mold and work with. But again, he had the same issues. I know you don't want to hear it. He was in the same situation that Dwayne Haskins was. He was drafted by a coach that didn't want him and didn't want to work with him.
All I'm going to tell you now, KG, is everything I listen to in Cleveland has Deshaun Watson as the number one QB in that program.
I don't doubt it. I don't see a problem with it either.
But so either maybe Deshaun found the fountain of youth, or he found some NDAs and some discretionary massage artists or whatever he got going on. I don't know. Not for me to decide or predict. But we move on from here.
All right. So coming up this week, tomorrow, 7:15 to 7:30.
I don't know because we don't have the finals. So let's play that by ear. Let's say 7:30, but if you pay attention to our Facebook and everything, because we may drop at 7:15. Nothing but net.
Nothing but net. Starring this gentleman down here, the Midnight Rider, C. Perry II, JG, and the nephew Josh. Then you will have Thursday Night Throwdown on Thursday at 7:15. Friday, you should have a special recorded, maybe about 15-minute show, about 5 o'clock. Throw something together as a tribute to Len Bias, 40 years since his tragic death.
You should reach out to Lee Ice and see if y'all can do something together. I think that hits home for both of y'all.
Gotcha. That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
We compare.
I think that would be an awesome show.
Most definitely. I like when you got somebody that's going. You got somebody that can go back in time with you. Yeah, you know, because around here, you know, I learned from a guy named the Midnight Rider. He said when you do it, you got to do this thing called content. But he also says, you know, what he does, and I try to do a little bit of that. I try to do dope shit. So
yeah.
But then Saturday you got the WrestleManiac. Sunday right back at you with the Sunday Rise, and the week starts all over again. Drive time at 5, Pretenders or Contenders at 7, and we right back here to Tuesday. So
I think next week, I think Pretenders or Contenders is off. Okay. I think Coach got an engagement or something going on. So.
All right. Well, Midnight Rider, it's time for us to get up out of here. And we still came in under an hour and a half, so I think we did pretty damn good.
Oh, well, I mean, seeing that we had a segment that we didn't even think, or like that wasn't even planned, the Lee Ice Flying Brian segment, that kind of came together as it was and as it is. So, yeah.
That was pretty much the Marino fake spike against the Jets.
Right.
It's a touchdown, baby. It's a touchdown. So, thank you to everybody that commented. Thank you to Showtime Sarah for coming on. Flying Brian, Lee Ice, Anthony in the comments, Maddie Ice in the comments. Thank you for everybody watching.
Hold on. Oh, shoot. So, Anthony says in that picture, KG looks like Booker T.
I'll take that.
Oh.
Five-time world champion. You remember that. Let me throw this head back a bit.
Oh, man.
I feel, as always, backup quarterbacks make some great coaches. Because you stand on the sideline, holding the clipboard. That's why I think Frank Wright is a good coach.
All right, let's get out of here, man. I'm sorry. I was running through stuff and I noticed that we hadn't hit a couple things. So, you close us out.
Well, that's it for the Midnight Rider. I'm the big guy, KG. We did a little overtime today, but you love it. We are out of here.
Peace.